up something that one of my distinguished colleagues said a few minutes.
Next is Peter Wolfgang.
Good afternoon, members of the Judiciary Committee. My name is Peter Wolfgang. I'm the president of Family Institute of Connecticut Action, and I am here today to oppose Bill 6599, an act concerning discrimination, or as it is known to us, the bathroom bill. You have my written testimony. I'm going to depart from it and just emphasize a few points. I want to start with something Andrew McDonald, Chief Legal Counsel for the Governor, said in his testimony. He talked about the history of this bill, and he talked about how in '06 you had so many votes, in '07 and '08 that there was an increase in support for this bill. But he stopped at 2008 for a reason. In 2009, for the first time, this bill died in committee. Former Senator McDonald singled out Senator Kissel for praise for supporting the bill, but I know that Senator Kissel, too, opposed this bill in 2009. In 2010, for the first time, this bill did not get a public hearing. I mean, the truth is, this bill actually crested at some point and then receded. And what I'm here today to ask you is that you continue this positive trend away from this bill. Now, regarding my reference to it as a bathroom bill, proprietors of any public accommodation are prohibited from discriminating against persons of any sex or sexual orientation in the full enjoyment of accommodations offered to the general public. The current law has exceptions for single-sex sleeping accommodations, bathrooms, and locker rooms. HB 6599 would circumvent all of those exceptions, which would still apply to sex, but would not apply to gender identity or expression. So in other words, this bill would allow men to enter women's public restrooms. That is a main reason for our opposition to this bill. If a father and his young daughter went to a public accommodation and the young girl needed to use the ladies' room, her own father could not go in with her, but a man who says he is transgendered could. This bill is a radical assault on the right to privacy and safety of all women and children on behalf of one of the smallest special interest groups. Nothing would prevent a sexual predator from pretending that he is confused about his sex to gain access to vulnerable women and children in what should be safe spaces for their accommodation and health. These are some of our reasons for opposing the bill. You have more in my written testimony, but at the end of the day, what concerns us is that this is a bathroom bill. This is a bill that would allow men to enter into women's restrooms, and we ask that you not support this bill. Thank you.
Are there any questions from members of the committee? Representative Holder-Winfield.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wolfgang.
Good afternoon.
You said if this bill passed, nothing would prevent the sexual predators from taking the actions that you suggest might happen. What prevents them from doing that now?
Well, they'd certainly have more of a reason to do it. And men in general should not be allowed into women's bathrooms. At issue is the fact that you have an exception for sex, but not for gender identity and expression if this bill passes and men can enter women's bathrooms.
But my question to you is what prevents them from doing it now? Your answer, while a response, doesn't actually indicate what does that.
Well, I mean, there are laws that prevent crimes, obviously, from taking place in bathrooms in general, but I mean, why give sexual predators a pretext? Why give them an excuse to say, look, I'm transgendered and that's why I went into the women's bathroom? Obviously, it's, there are laws for registered sex offenders.
And so those laws would actually exist if the crime was committed after entering the bathroom, even if this law passed, if this bill passed. Is that not correct?
Well, while laws exist to prosecute those who commit crimes or the sort of crimes that we're talking about, HB 6599 puts women and children at substantial additional risk of assault because men as a group cannot be questioned beforehand or curtailed from entering women's restrooms. You'll have more of it. It'll be harder to track. This bill should not pass for that reason.
Mr. Wolfgang, I recognize what your supposition is. I'm asking you, would the laws still be in existence?
Yes, the laws would still be in existence.
Thank you.